Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of
Dirty Time,
where we talk to the folks, stories and
and nothing's off limits to be told.
I'm Essie Love, aka Carlucci, you want to keep your head in the
You got on sound effects still. And it's your girl Carlucci. You can talk to me about your coochie or whatever else you have on your mind, and you know I'm gonna always keep it Gucci.
Yeah, baby.
So what we got tonight? What you got to keep Gucci tonight?
Oh man, we got all kind of things to talk about, but our main topic is going to be freaking mental health, man. Yeah, like shit's getting out of hand. People getting crazy.
You know what I do to keep my mental health in check?
Huh? That can.
I'm an advocate. Use that cannabis. It has fuck it in it. Every single time you be tripping, you be stressed out. All you gotta do is have a little bit of cannabis, and it has that. Oh, I was gonna go to my job and shoot it up. No, I'm not. Fuck it. I'm gonna sit here on the couch and play video games.
As Cat Williams said, get some fucking in your life. That's real. Yeah, it affects what, like 57.8 million people in the world. So it's like for real out.
That's a lot of fucking people, Essie.
Yeah, and you know, it's all kind of levels to the shit, you know. I mean, even if it's not to where you may like recognize it because you're not doing drastic stuff when you go outside, you're not snapping on people, like just on lower levels it could be affecting you to where maybe you're not having successful relationships, or you're not having successful friendships, or you're not having successful business relationships because just on a small mental level, you know, unstable in some way or another. And you just don't know it because you've never maybe been diagnosed with anything. You just don't know. So, you know.
Well, I mean, that's an important part of the puzzle, right? Like, you know, I'm a huge mental health advocate. I definitely suggest that if you do not have a therapist of your own or somebody that you can talk to, that you go and get one. There's also a bunch of support groups that people can join. They might not even realize they need to join up. You know, like new moms, for example, they don't even understand how much stress they just came into their life. Sometimes meeting up with one of those mommy and me meetup groups gives you an outlet so that you can talk to other moms, kind of realize that you're not in the struggle alone, and it gives you a better perspective. There's actually a lot of groups for different types of things. So whatever it is that you're going through, whatever new transitions you're going in life, I definitely suggest reaching out to a doctor to try to see if they can help you, and or reaching out to some of the meetup groups that you have in your local town.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I mean, that's great advice. When I was a single mother, you know, I didn't even think of those things, but I had a lot of challenges that I went through, especially being young and being a mother, because I did at a young age. I felt very isolated being a young mother because there wasn't a lot of other young mothers at that time. So it was very tough for me. So yeah, I can imagine having a support group that would have helped me so much, or just yeah, having the ideas. And then there's also the internet now. Like you can also just look things up. You know, they have other people going through what you're going through, and they give great ideas all the time. I'm always seeing great ideas for parents and whatnot with their children. So I'm sure like on other levels, there's also great ideas out there if you're going through something. Just, you know, maybe Google something, see what they say. I don't know.
I mean, I definitely suggest to reaching out to people before you kind of have that break. I mean, one thing that kind of happened this week that kind of reminds everybody that anybody can have a mental break, and we kind of don't know people's motives behind what they do. I'm sure that you saw it on the news. There was another school shooting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was most likely as a result of a mental break. Like that's not obviously something that's not normal, that people just go into a school and try to commit such an atrocity.
Mm-hmm.
I know you had some information about that.
Yeah, it was said that her parents were not acceptant of her being transgender. So that led to her going to a school. But I'm confused on why didn't she go to a younger school? Like she went to an elementary school?
Yeah.
Like I don't understand why she didn't go to like her own school. Like why she chose an elementary school. Like babies, like you chose to go to a baby school. Like I don't understand that.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I'm not sure if she went to the school or something. I saw the article that you sent over to me on it, but I didn't grasp that detail. I don't know if she went to that school or there was some type of personal vendetta against the school or something like that. But
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, that's alarming in the first place. It's like you're already having some type of mental issues in terms of being transgender and like maybe not feeling like you're in the right body and this and that. And
Mhm.
then to face rejection on top of that. But I guess my issue is like, lots of people face rejection, lots of people go through things, but their solution isn't to go take it out on innocent children. So I guess that's more so the problem. It's like, at what point was she not able to get help, or he, or whatever, I don't know how to say it, they weren't able to get help and this and that. So I just want to advocate to everybody, just reach out. If you're feeling some kind of way, you're feeling not yourself, the best thing that you can do is just reach out and have somebody to talk to. And you'd be surprised how many people will actually be there to listen to you.
For sure. A guy reached out on Facebook the other day and just said he was feeling suicidal, and I was like, wow, but he had a lot of responses and a lot of people come on and just, try to get him to, talk or come into the, DMs or whatever. I even sent him a message. I didn't even know him. I sent him a message of words of encouragement like, yo, that's not even the way to go right now.
Right.
We all have a purpose. It's just something you're going through right now. Like, so yeah, it's a lot going on. And even in celebrity world, we had the one child oh, it was a child star, Amanda something. She just had a mental breakdown not too long ago. I wasn't sure what happened with her, but she was in the news. And then Britney Spears recently, she
Again,
but
yep.
Britney Spears wasn't like, we really aren't saying anything about her having a mental breakdown, but she was just like,
I mean, but she's had several mental breakdowns. I mean, she shaved her head. She was actually the first person that I'm gonna say was the celebrity poster child of like mental health. Like the chick went and shaved her head. You know what I
right.
mean? Like that's she was a celebrity. So I'm just saying, like, we all go through it. Everybody goes through it, whether you have money, don't have money. In fact, a lot of the times that we see, it's like it's highlighted by celebrities like what's my favorite comedian, that he Robin Williams, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Look at it, it appears that he had everything, but deep down inside he's suffering with depression, this and that, and then he ended up committing suicide. So definitely, go and talk to a mental health specialist, somebody that can help you, a therapist, a counselor, your local church leader,
Hmm.
somebody at your school, somebody in your HR department. Like, people are
Right.
there to help you. Actually, don't we have somebody tonight that we're going to talk to about some of those type of things?
We do, we do. We have a fellow podcaster. His name goes by AP. We're gonna bring him in as well, and I really wanted to talk to him from a male perspective, because a lot of, you know, black males specifically go through this as well, and there, there's a lot of health issues that stem behind this, and
Mm-hmm.
we're always hearing about people just drop dropping dead from like heart attacks and just like
Right.
weird complications.
Especially in the community of color. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm just like, maybe he can help us tackle like what's
Well,
really,
the stresses are even so much greater. They're so much amplified, right? They're
yeah,
so much more amplified because it's not just like the normal day-to-day stress of like, I'm trying to earn a living and this and that. It's like, I'm trying to earn a living and I got to watch what I do in front of the cops. And I got to, you know what I mean? Watch what I'm doing. I'm just walking down the street, and it's just constant pressure on our men of color. And so it's like, I don't really know what they're supposed to do. It's like an urban jungle out there. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk to this guy.
let's
I want to
bring
hear
him
what he
in.
has to say.
Let's see what he got to say, because I do want to know, like,
What
what
he got to say? Where he at though?
what's going on?
Where he at though?
Hopefully he's all there together.
I see him coming in. I see him coming.
He just had a birthday.
Hello,
So.
sir. How are you doing this evening?
What's up, AP?
What to
AP
do,
in
man?
the
What's up?
building. How you
All
doing tonight? Thank you for
right.
joining us on Dirty Talk Vegas.
What's up with it? What's going on with y'all?
Well, we want to talk to you. We want to know from a male's perspective, especially from a man of color, from a Black man. We want to hear from you in terms of your gems that you have for us on mental health. We want to get into it. What's up, AP?
First and foremost, he's just made it through another year. So congratulations for
you survived
for beating statistics. He's not locked up. He's not, you know, he's here, he's surviving, he's passing all kind of obstacles. So yeah. Woo woo.
Absolutely.
And healthy. So yeah.
I appreciate that, man. I literally I celebrated the birthday yesterday, 43.
Hey,
and
yeah, man. Happy birthday.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So I just been chilling, working on some things. Got a lot going on right now. And right now what I'm working on, I actually just got invited back to New York Fashion Week to do some styling. Nice. Then got invited to California to style for Morris Chestnut. So
hey.
So I got a lot going on right now. Got a podcast myself on just one platform. I'm trying to get the other two platforms going right now, but it's been a little, not necessarily a struggle, but I just been dealing with a lot, been going through a lot. Well, not necessarily going through a lot, but I work too as well. So I work in production. So I build stages here in Las Vegas for major celebrities and different conferences, travel for it. Been doing that since 2005. Other than that, I own my own business, own company. And I just been, rocking and rolling, man, with the grace of God, by the grace of God, period. What y'all want to ask me anything, I'm down.
And so what we want to know is this like, I mean, you're such a busy guy, and so you're always on the road, and you're always going, or you're just always working, you're always, doing the next thing. Is this like a lot of what stems to like the stress? Is this what causes to a lot of like mental health? Because we're noticing that like a lot of men are having like health problems. There's a lot of mental health problems, and I feel like there's, I don't know, like it's like
there's a correlation between the two.
It goes together.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so we're trying to figure out from a male's perspective, like,
okay,
do you feel this? Do you see where it's coming from? Because you talk to other guys, I'm sure you're around other guys, like you guys got talking to each other.
I don't talk to nobody. I don't like people. No, I'm just playing. I'm totally joking. So it's funny that you asked that, because so this gonna be a long conversation, but I'm gonna make a long story short. So just a few days ago, I went to the hospital. I went to the emergency room. I've been having like problems with like my chest, because I know I probably told you that I had went through 2 strokes. So the first stroke was back in 2016. So that was actually like months after I lost both of my parents. So my mom was January 13, 2016, massive heart attack. My dad was February 15th, overdose on heroin. So September the 17th, I actually had my first stroke. Months later, after I lost both of my parents in the same year. So don't even ask me how 2016 was, because that was horrible. January the 10th, 3 days before my mom's 1-year anniversary, which was very hard. That would have been her 1-year anniversary. I had my second stroke. So just a few days ago, it had actually been going on for maybe, I want to say probably about the last maybe 5 days or so. But me, being that man, I tried to ignore it because I thought it was like something minor. So I was like, you know what? I said, what I don't want to do is ignore this. So I kept trying to lay down, and then someone kept telling me, was like, dude, you need to go to the hospital. My close friends kept telling me, they was like, yo, you need to go to the hospital. I'm like, man, I'll be fine. Because I run every morning. At 3 o'clock in the morning, I run now 4 miles. 4 miles, 7 days a week. I drink smooth. And it was just crazy. So I decided to get up about, I want to say now 3 days ago, or maybe 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I decided to get up and I was actually laying down and I just couldn't rest. I was like, dude, my chest been just hurting. Even if I'm like doing what I'm doing now, like just sitting here, I would just be sitting at my dining room table and it wouldn't even, I would just be chilling and it wouldn't even be hurting. I think it was like when I like decided to like move something or like move something heavy or whatever, because I'm always, man, I never sit down. So I go to the doctor, they do an EKG. Doing an EKG anyway. I'm supposed to get the EKG done. And hold on a second. Supposed to get the EKG done. And I decided to go to the hospital, to the emergency room, and they did it. All results came back negative. I'm like, well, Dad, what's going on? So then they was like, well, what type of work do you do? When I told them that, they was probably, that's probably what that streams from, because I'm always working. I'm always working. The things that I move go anywhere from like 200 pounds on up. Some I live by myself. I bench press probably my weight plus 15 more pounds.
So how is all of this, how do you think all of that like adds up to you, like the things, the stresses that were going on around you, and like the physical stress, the mental stress, the emotional stress that you're going through? How do you think that added up to you having this physical manifestation of illness?
A lot of it streams from my mom, actually, because my mom actually dealt with a lot, like thyroids, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. And like I said, well, my doctor one of my doctors, because I have three doctors. I have three regular doctors. And each one of them was, and they communicate with each other, and they was like, yo, you need to, be more consistent with this, which I should, and I don't. But when they ran
So what
the
are
test,
what are they trying to tell you to be consistent with? Like, are they telling you to like calm down, or
just going to the doctor, getting more checkups, just to make sure that body stays 100, which I don't, and I need to actually start doing. See, the last time that I went to the doctor, if I wouldn't have did this test, I wouldn't have known that all my levels would have been, regular. When they checked my blood pressure the first time, it was like 208 over 179, and it had never been that high. So, because I don't do salty foods, I don't do a lot of soul food, I don't eat pork, I don't drink soda, I don't eat spicy foods, I don't eat anything, I don't eat donuts, I don't eat any of that stuff. So as not necessarily being a Black man, but I think men in general need to probably be more conscientious of, getting their bodies checked and getting a checkup to ensure and endure that, on a day-to-day basis, their bodies are able to perform at a regular pace. It's just anyway. So she checked for HIV, AIDS, and syphilis, and all of that, cholesterol, everything was good. One thing that came back, she was like, well, you got a lot of blood in your system. I was like, whoa, I've never heard of this. So I Googled it. And she was like, you got way too much blood. And I was like, well, do I need to donate blood? She was like, it's fine. It actually is a thing. And I was like, I drink water on a regular basis, because I drink water. My body is probably 99.999% water, because I drink so much of it. I probably drink maybe about 10 bottles of water a day, and then I turn around, obviously use the bathroom, and then I go run, work out. So I'm consistent with everything that I'm doing as far as being healthy. So, but I just have to be more conscientious of, getting myself checked and taking it easy, which that's kind of hard for me to do because of the job that I do in the world of production that I'm in.
So what was the suggestion for the blood being thick or whatever?
I can hear you.
What was the suggestion she gave you for the blood?
She basically told me, she was like, you need to start drinking more red wine. She wanted to put me on blood pressure pills. And 9 years ago, I used to be on 3 different blood pressure pills. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So in order for me not to do that, I literally had to change the trajectory of what I eat, what I intake, like my workout habits, things like that. So I take vitamins every single day consistently. I got this little pill bottle that I use Monday through Sunday. And then I take that every day, consistent with it, do my smoothies, work out for probably maybe about 2 hours. That's about all I need, especially for my body mass. And like I said, I drink a lot of water, don't drink any sodas. I eat healthy. And
so you think that basically the key to overcoming the physical and mental pressures is just exercise and just being consistent in your routine and like Just basically trying to be healthy. I guess those are the things that we know. It's just so hard to do, right?
Dude, I actually talked to a good friend of mine. See, I used to be a fitness trainer. I was a fitness trainer for like 9 years, 9, 10, maybe 11 years. And I used to be a lifeguard. I was a lifeguard for over 15 years. So I tell people, they was like, oh no, in order for me to work out, I need somebody that's right there with me. No, you don't. You don't need anybody to go to the gym with. It's all in your mind. So when I go running at 3 o'clock in the morning, instead of me listening to music, I listen to motivational speeches. I listen to Eric Thomas, I listen to Les Brown, Steve Harvey, the list goes on. And I input all of that motivation in me, so it's not what you do, it's how you do it. To like retrain your mind to be better than what somebody typically has told you that you'll never ever become, or overcome the that negative mindset of what people always interject. See, I don't share my energy with everybody. You know what I mean? Like my time is very patient. My essence is, it's just limited, So I try to do the consistency of like working out and, just talking to myself and even talking to God and praying and meditating to be able to change things that I didn't do before. So a lot of things that I do now, I do it all because of my mom. Like I said, I lost my mom of a massive heart attack. So my mom was, yes, overweight. Did my mom try to work out as a Black woman? Did she try to work out? She did. Did she make it to the weight that she wanted to? No, she didn't. So anything that I do now, whether it's being a motivational speaker, whether it's eating right, whether it's, drinking right, I don't drink alcohol. If I do anything, it's red wine, and then my body consists of probably more water than anybody has ever intaked in their body before. So, just being consistent with it across the board is pretty much how I would look at that. There has to be some kind of consistency and discipline in what you do in order to change things that you used to do to not do anymore. There has to be some type of consistency and urgency in what you want to do and a platform that you want to build for yourself to become a better person each and every day.
All right.
So my theory is that the lack of having a woman is a lot of the reason that men have these issues as well. Yep.
All time?
I feel like it's the lack of having a woman that a lot of these men have these issues.
I just wanted to, so that's cute. I just wanted to say, I don't, first of all, I don't think it's a lack of having a woman.
Yeah, I do.
That's fine. And again, but I feel like it's not the lack of having a woman. Because here's the thing, my mom was single for a long time. Mm-hmm. She was single for a long time. Last time, and hadn't had sex in probably since we were.
But you're talking about a woman, you're not talking about a man.
I hear you, but I'm giving you the difference, right? I'm just giving you my insight on how I feel.
But your mom had you. You were her son. And she had you for a while. So you kind of replaced the needing of the man.
On the level to where it's like, okay, yeah, you don't necessarily need, it's more point. So I would like a woman, but I don't need a woman.
You need a woman in your life because a woman is the balance that you need. Like the things that you...
A woman is a balance, and so is God too. So mentally and spiritually, I'm already there. I haven't had a woman in forever. I haven't had forever. So when it's that platform, for me, I don't need that. No. The reason I can say it is because I've lived it. I eat, think, and breathe. I've dealt it, smelt it. I've done that.
This is what Kevin Samuels said, and then look at Kevin Samuels.
You said who now?
This is what Kevin Samuels said, and this is why Kevin Samuels had so many. Like Kevin Samuels had issues. If Kevin Samuels would have had a good woman by his side, he would be here today. But he had some weirdo.
I feel like when Kevin Samuels was deceased, and the people that actually praised him for actually dying are beneath themselves. I don't think
nobody should praise anybody for dying.
I don't feel like ridiculous. Happy that a man dies because of the values or things that they put out when they voice their opinion, period, point blank. Here's the funny thing. If a woman did the same thing for a man, if a woman did the same thing that Kevin Samuels did, men would not be praising a woman for that. Or they may, because I actually know, I take that back. I know a guy, and I won't say his name, but I know a guy that literally is probably Kevin Samuel's twin. Literally. He's a good friend of mine from St. Louis, but he like, yo, bro, you can't think like that. You cannot think like that. I say, this is what relationships now look like. I say, you're going to be by yourself. And his intake about it is that he doesn't need a woman, right? He feels like if he gets a woman and she doesn't do exactly what he says or listens, it's not, he gonna know until he can get that. I say, dog, you can't have that mentality, brother. And the funny part is that he's older than me and I'm younger than he is.
Because you guys need us.
I have male friends in my life that I literally look up to that are married, were married, and I still look up to now that are old. All my friends are older than me. All my male friends are older than me. And I look up to them for advice, and I'm like, yo, what could I have done to do this? Or what could I have done? But see, that's the thing. And I listen to them because they've been in relationships. My best friend, I was like, yo, bro, you have been by yourself for probably over 10 years. I would never take advice from you. He was like, no, why? I was like, bro, listen to your mouth, sir. And he just gets upset every single time. And he looks at me and he's like, bro. But yeah, I agree to disagree. I don't think that a man needs a woman. I think it would be nice. It would be nice when God sends that right person as an equal. That's just my opinion.
Men need women and women need men. It's just
I don't think it's
each other. This is why we are created. Like, we need each other, period. There's no wants, and we need each other. It's like saying, I want food. No, you need food, motherfucker. Like, what do you mean you want food? You need food. You need a woman. I need a man. That's how you procreate. We need each other. What do you fucking mean?
I don't really necessarily believe that.
You need a woman. You know why you need a woman? Because you have like certain ways that you do things and you have certain beliefs, and that's great. But then you have a woman who brings the extra alternative route that you can say, you know what? That's even a better idea. I had a great idea, but that's even a better idea. And then you have things that you can bounce off of each other's ideas and then come up with a better idea instead of just having a one opinionated idea. If you go one way and it's your way, like, you're never seeing another perspective. You're never able to get that other angle.
Oh, and the reason I agree to disagree because me being married, I was married, I call my marriage a two and a possible. So when I was married in 05, two and a possible. So when I was married in 05, I was only married for 2 years. And then my second marriage, I was married 3 times. My second marriage, 5.5, maybe 6 months. And then my third marriage, I was married for 2 years, almost 3 years. That's why I call it two and a possible. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. When I tell what, and I have to explain it to them, and they was like, well, where did the possible come in? And I was like, yeah, I was only married for like 5.5 months when I found her cheating in the same house, in the same with a guy laying in the same bed that we lived together. So I was like, okay, that was my possible.
See, this is why he's so scorned about the shit.
I kind of feel like even with that though, like wanting a woman, here's the thing, I would like a woman, but I don't want just any woman. I want a woman that I can grow with, true enough. And a woman wants the same thing from a man, and a man wants the same thing from a woman. But I don't want to get myself in a situation to keep messing up the 3 times that I messed up. I don't want to mess up again. So now what I have to do is take myself out of the equation and allow God and inspiration to take over. That's how I was raised from my mom.
You know what? You're looking at it wrong, because you don't look at your past relationships as mess ups. You look at them as experiences. They all something.
It was a mess up. I don't want to keep making the same mistakes.
It's not a mistake. It's an experience. You learned something for it and you grew from it. That's part of your journey
that I went through before. However you want to fillet it and fry it up, I do not want
part of the journey. That's part of your journey.
When it's all said and done, I do not want to go through the same thing 3 times. Period. Point blank. I don't.
Okay.
Listen, the next person that God brings in my life is going to be the person that he actually constructed just for me. You can agree to disagree if you want to, but I, as a
Look, I think this man
don't.
is serious about what he's saying right now. I think you need to
mean,
listen, Essie. He's like,
hopefully,
this is what it is.
I'm dead serious. Yes, yeah. No,
because
none
hopefully
of my relationships that I was in was a situationship. Everything that I was in was a lesson learned. And the funny thing about it is that when I asked God to bring me somebody, and he not necessarily gave it to me, but I put myself in that position to say, okay, Lord, I need you to step in and work this out and make this work for me. Okay, AP, I already told you that this is not the person for you. So now what did I just do? I literally just changed the trajectory of fate and taking myself out of what God had already naturally created me. Talk to me.
Okay, sir.
What I'm about to do is get myself in a situation, regardless of what the fuck I want, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't. And this is what most relationships look like. It's because they never want to take themselves out of the equation and allow godly inspiration to take over. We say, you know what, Lord? Instead of me messing up, or instead of me saying this is what I want, what about what you want for me? Mm-hmm. This is what most people don't do. That's why that's why you got a lot of disadvantages in marriages. Hell, I'll take it one step up. That's why you got a lot of divorces now. Literally. Because nobody wants to operate in the faith that was already spiritually created for you as a person, whether it's a female or whether it's a male. Mm-hmm. Scratch all that. This is what I want. That's cool. We can say what we want, but listen, is this real? Okay, Lord, this is what I want, but is this what you want for me? And if he tells you no, because you want to be hard-headed and still put yourself in that situation because it's what you want, then you're going to always remain by yourself. This is what most relationships look like. Nobody wants to do that nowadays. Everybody is literally like, okay, yeah, she got a cute face, pretty face, you know what I mean, and all of that, but nobody wants to look at the spiritual perspective of it. They always just say, well, this is what I want because this is what we need. Not true. Mm-hmm. Because if you look at it that way, then you really the minute that you get yourself involved is the same day you're going to be divorced by yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, you got to pick wisely, but I mean, this is why
from a perspective, God talks about being wise. He talks about being wise.
I understand that, but I feel like this is why a lot of like guys are dropping.
And I'll tell you this, me as a man, this is how I live because this is how I was raised. Okay, you learn as a child, you spoke as a child, but when you became older, you put away childish ways. You don't keep doing the same thing that you did when you was a kid. When you get older, all that stuff is dead. I'm 43 years old now, so if I start looking for a woman the way that I looked for a woman when I was 18, you think that's gonna work now? Hell no. No, it's not.
No.
That's why if we as women, or we as men, me as man, and you as a woman, if we spiritually come together, see, people call me Christian. I'm not Christian, I'm spiritual. I come from a spiritual background. My perspectives are spiritual. The affirmations that I live by are spiritual. Okay. And there's a difference. There's a difference in just in being like convicted to, well, not necessarily convicted, but being that Christian. Because I've been there too as well. I've been there with a woman that was like, oh yeah, I'm so, and the first thing that she said was, I'm Christian, I'm holy this and I'm holy that. But then the following week, you see them doing something completely else, something completely different. Versus,
well, hold on, just because that you believe in God doesn't mean you still can't shake a tail feather. So I don't know what she was doing, but
say that again.
Just because you believe in God doesn't mean you can't shake a tail feather or two. Like, I don't know if she was dancing with somebody or who knows what she was doing, but
I'm not saying that you can't have fun, but there's a walk that you have to ascertain in order to be like, I can't turn around and say, well, hey, you know what? You can't do X, Y, and Z, but then I turn around and do the complete opposite of what I told you that's not right. See, in the Bible, it speaks about that you gotta not necessarily check your brothers and sisters, but you gotta go to your brothers and sisters like with love, you know what I mean? Like Christ came to us. But that's what I'm saying. People don't look at it from that perspective anymore. It's all about what we feel and how we feel and what we think that things should actually be in that time, not how things should have been or things could be better than while we're in that situation now. Most people, they don't think like that. See, I'm old school. I'm old school. I'm the way that I talk now, and the way that I see. I'll tell you this. My third wife, she wasn't in the she was in church, but she wasn't like in church. You know what I mean? She was
Well,
in it, but
that's
she in it.
religious.
Like
Forgive Carlucci. I don't even know what her deal is, but if she,
I'm,
if she is at church, she's religious, right? She's not spiritual. If she's at church, she's religious, not spiritual, right?
I didn't know what she was until we actually got to, having like in-depth conversations. He was like, yo, you know what I do? Or I do that. I mean, but it is what it is. But eventually, over time, I didn't really know who she was until after we got our. It took all of that to be like noticed after we went through so much. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we divorced now, but I mean,
but you were younger then, and you were just like, okay, you knew.
No, this was literally just like I've been here for like 5 years. I've been here for like 5 years now. March the 19th marked 5 years. So what we did was I don't know. I don't know, man. We after over time we just kind of lost it. We lost everything. Like how we met in the beginning was like not the same after.
That's crazy. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. There's you'll know like when you meet somebody who is supposed to be there for you, and I just feel like men need women, women need men. You're gonna meet people who you're not compatible with, but you're gonna be with them for some time. Like I didn't marry the guys I was with, but I was in relationships for a long time with them, and it didn't work out. But it's a journey, it's experience. I get it. Like I know that that's just for like a time period. I just didn't put all my eggs in one basket, but I still knew like it was just for a time period. And I learned my lessons. Like I caught my ex cheating on me, and it was like, okay, that was like a huge awakening for me to like really dig deep into myself. That was like the hard karmic lesson for me. I went through a lot, but I grew so much from that experience. That's what I'm saying. Like I took those bad experiences and I flipped them into like win situations for me, because I learned a lot from them and I grew a lot from them. So I don't necessarily look at those as mistakes and like, oh, you fucked up, because I'm like, that's what it took for me to get where I'm at now.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if I had not have went through that, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. I would still be on this page of running around chasing after these certain type of people. But I'm not chasing after those people no more, or even going for those type of people anymore, because I elevated and I've got to another level now. So that's a good thing. So you're on another level now that you, like you said, like you're on another level now, like you elevated from that. That's good.
Yeah, like I said, you learn. You definitely,
from that.
Regardless of the situation or circumstance that you in. Me personally, I just, like I said, I used to call it a mistake, and then I had to reevaluate my thoughts. And I didn't want to entertain mistakes. I wanted to, spiritually, it came to me as this is a lesson learned, right? Going through something that you were not necessarily destined for, but going through something that God had already told me as a person, because I was hard-headed, I'm not going to even lie, but it wasn't just once, it wasn't just twice, it was 3 times, regardless of if that third marriage didn't last, or that second marriage before the third marriage only lasted 5.5, 6 months, whatever. I personally, this is just me, I personally didn't go to God himself and be like, well, you know what, is this supposed to be my person? And when I get that red light, hey, or that red stop sign and say, no, this is not it. Or, okay, cool. Since you want to go through this, you're going to go through some trials and tribulations. That's just how I was raised.
So I guess, I mean, you can't argue with how he's raised. I don't know. That's just what it is sometimes. But, I don't know. You live and you learn. Maybe you should listen to our horoscope portion more because I want to get to it today. I actually just had a technical difficulty because I was trying to pull up your horoscope. When do you know who your love match is?
My love match.
Yeah, do you know? Are you into that? You said you're spiritual.
Yeah. So when I say spiritual, okay. So let me just kind of back up a little bit. Being married that amount of times, or for the 2.5 times, I literally, people asked me, they was like, "Hey, will you ever get married again?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they was like, "Are you ready to?" So who you gonna, who you gonna pick, or who's gonna be your next, your next Valentine, or your next, significant other? And I'm like, well, to be honest with you, whoever God creates for me, because who he has for you is for you. That's literally it. That's literally it. People may
Okay.
agree, but I know what I want, and I know. But the funny thing about it is because I have literally been through it 3 times, I can say what I want. But now it's like to the point to where, okay, Lord, whoever you got for me is just that's for me. And that will be the person for me. See, when you take yourself out of the equation of life, and let your steps just be ordered, instead of you trying to order your own steps and you walk your own path and you write the right fate how you feel that it should be. When you keep yourself in it, this is when things mess up. And me personally, because I've gone through it, I want to keep messing up. This last time that I get married, I want to get it right. I don't want to be like, well, dang, you know what? I made another mistake. Here goes another mistake for the books, or another lesson learned for the books. I don't want to keep.
I hear a lot.
Go ahead.
I hear a lot of single people that are just sitting waiting for God to bring them somebody. I don't understand that part.
Well, I hope that God brings you whoever is supposed to come to you. And I want to say thank you so much for being on the show tonight. I want to get to the horoscopes because I don't want my phone to die before the end of this podcast. And I know my Aries birthdays are like, WTF, you haven't given us a shout out yet. So I hope that whoever is supposed to come into your path does. And I wish you a very good night. Mwah.
Wait, he didn't give his shout out and his people.
Oh, wait, did you do your shout out? You didn't do your shout out. Who are you shouting out?
Oh, shoot.
Like his Instagram, because you have a podcast as well. We need your
podcast
info so everybody can find you if they want to come hear your show. Let them know where they can find you at.
So right now, just the Instagram platform. The YouTube platform is actually being built as we speak, and the Facebook platform too as well. So Facebook and Instagram are now obviously tied together. So the same thing for my Instagram will be the same thing for my Facebook. So it's literally my first name, last name, which is Antoine Patterson. It's ANTOINE, last name PATTERSON. Or if you can't, and it's literally a picture of me and my mom, literally on the profile picture, or it's my company CMP3, which is C_M_P_3. That's it, CMP3 Enterprise.
Awesome sauce. So y'all can find him on those platforms, Facebook and Instagram. Any shout outs you want to give real quick?
Dude, well, I mean, just giving a shout out to my brother, my little brother Reggie. Same last name Patterson. He's a chef. He's in St. Louis. He always watches the platforms and things like that. Give a shout out to my kids, and that's it, man. And God, number one, and we just rock it.
Nice. Reggie, cook us up some food. We coming to St. Louis. All right. Thank you for joining us, AP. We appreciate having you on Dirty Talk Vegas. Till next time. Thank you.
I got you. Oh, I'll catch y'all.
All right, appreciate it. What's the horoscope you got for us, Carlucci?
Okay, so Aries, basically, you guys are going to be entering into the Pisces house. So that's going to cause a lot of disruption for you, but don't let that get you down. It's temporary. Then you guys are going to continue to move forward through your season. Basically, things are going to do a complete 180. Whatever you had on your plate is going to be dumped, and there's going to be new shit on your plate. So watch out. Keep your eyes open, keep your head on a swivel and all that kind of good stuff. But it looks like it's going to turn out good for you. It looks like you'll start having better luck towards the end of next month. Mwah. Love you, Aries.
All right, sounds good. All right, take a shot real quick before we out.
Yes.
All right, one shot. Ah! All right.
All right, I got my shot.
Got your shot. I didn't even.
All right.
You got yours. That's all that matters.
Well, cheers to y'all. And on that note, safe sex, man.
Check. So for all, not for love.